grandmother's lesson. A grandmother's lesson, Mark Boujikian.
A grandmother does more than tell stories or provide an endless supply of hugs and kisses. A grandmother teaches us that everything that happens in this life helps us to grow, even if it's hard to see right now. She gives us hope that we will come to understand this lesson in our own lives. She gives us hope that we will come to understand it before she's gone. Now, the Toastmasters' most welcome guest, there begins the story of a grandmother named Dorothy. Now, Dorothy was the most kind and loving grandmother, and she was adored by her family. Most adamant about this was her granddaughter. Dorothy called her Monkey. There's one thing in this world that Monkey loved more than anything else, and that was her weekly trip to Granny's house. Every single Saturday, like clockwork, Monkey would travel out to Dorothy's beautiful 3-story house in the countryside. Now, upon arrival, the two of them wasted no time. They would head straight upstairs to the 3rd story. In the back corner of that house was the most amazing sunroom. It had these massive bay windows overlooking the entire countryside. Down below, there were trees and bushes, plants and animals. Oh, it's the most picturesque of scenes. But most importantly for Monkey, there was one bush in particular that had these small flowers shaped like trumpets. And every Saturday, flitting from trumpet to trumpet were the most stunning hummingbirds. Now, the hummingbird was her favorite bird because she felt like it represented her life. So no matter how fast those little wings beat, the body always stayed so calm. So too for her life, no matter how fast the chaos beat in around her, her time with Granny was always so calm. Now, Dorothy had one other characteristic that Monkey truly admired. You see, Dorothy was a fantastic artist. And every Saturday, the two of them would sit down together to draw their most favorite thing in the world, a hummingbird. Every Saturday, one new hummingbird skillfully drawn by Dorothy, carefully shaded by Monkey. Every Saturday, one hummingbird skillfully drawn, carefully shaded, never missed, never forgotten. Now, you recall, everything that happens in this life helps us to grow, even if it's hard to see right now. It was around the time that Dorothy was sent to prison that Monkey began to lose hope in this lesson. Now, Dorothy was sent to prison, but it was no prison as you or I understand it. It had no walls, no bars, no guards, no rules. Dorothy, the most kind and loving grandmother, suffered from Alzheimer's. And in time, she was moved from that beautiful 3-story home in the countryside to a gray-walled nursing home. But despite her incarceration, Monkey never forgot. Every Saturday, she would travel to that nursing home and she'd bring with her the sketchbook of their drawings. After a period of reintroducing herself and showing her those sketches, Dorothy would remember. Granny would come back. And just like the times in that sunroom in the countryside, the two of them would sit down together to draw their most favorite thing in the world. One hummingbird, skillfully drawn by Dorothy, carefully shaded by Monkey, never missed, never forgotten. That bird became more than just a drawing. It became a symbol of hope. Hope that they would always be together. Now, in time and after countless Saturdays, Monkey began to grow to a fine young woman. And despite spending every Saturday with Dorothy, she began to fall in love with a man. Now, the story of that romance is for another time. But suffice it to say, it was unlike anything Monkey had ever felt before. And she knew in time she wanted to introduce that man to the woman who meant so much to her. So one Saturday, she brought this man down to the nursing home. She took him by the hand and walked him through the door to Dorothy's room. She then mustered up the strength and said, "Granny, this is the man I was telling you about. This is the man I wanted you to meet." And she waited. But Dorothy just stared absent. See, at that time, Monkey realized she forgot to show her the sketches. She forgot to reintroduce herself. Just a moment, she said to the man. But 30 minutes passed. Dorothy didn't come back. It seemed that prison with no walls had finally broken her spirit. And it broke Monkey in the process, and she ran from the room crying, dropping the sketchbook on the way out. And the man at this point was not sure what to do, but he picked up the sketchbook, dusted it off, and placed it on Dorothy's bedside table. He then mustered up all the courage he had, stated his name to Dorothy, and said, "Ma'am, I'm in love with your granddaughter. Thank you for making her the woman she is today." And he followed Monkey out. Silence on that car ride home was devastating. You could hear a pin drop. But it was finally broken by Monkey's phone ring. She answered, listened for a moment, began to cry. She turned to the man and sobbed, "We have to go back." The man made a U-turn and sped back to that nursing home. This time, Monkey did not take him by the hand. She did not walk him into that room, but she ran directly inside. It seems that Dorothy, the most kind, loving grandmother, suffered a heart attack within moments of Monkey leaving. Her mother and father were already in the room, and she ran to be with them. Mourning the loss. Dorothy. The loss. Her granddaughter. Now again, the man was not sure what to do as he came inside, but he noticed that in the corner of his eye, the sketchbook lay open on the floor. Not where he left it. He bent down and picked it up and began to thumb through the pages, almost absently. What he saw when he came upon the last page of that sketchbook brought the most beautiful tears to his eyes. For the first time ever within that sketchbook were drawn two hummingbirds, skillfully drawn, yet to be shared. Under the first bird was written the name Caitlin. Under the second, the name Mark. It seems in her final moments, my beautiful wife's grandmother came back to us long enough to leave one final lesson. Gone. Never forgotten. Everything that happens in this life helps us to grow, even if it's hard to see right now. A grandmother gives us hope that we will come to understand this lesson in our own lives. She gives us hope that we will come to understand it before she's gone.